Hello, everyone. I'm aLex. I'm here to guide a short meditation session. The meditation itself is about 12 minutes, with a little preamble usually. And you're on Sun and Moon Yoga Studios YouTube channel. Thanks for being here. So it's November 8th, 2020. We've just, we're still kind of in the midst, but we've just had a big election. And times are challenging now. Well, maybe we can always say that. But what's true for us now is really important. So as I say a few words about, I'm on the path of making this, coming to meditation with more and more and more simplicity. But as I say a few words, you can take time to ensure that your seat is just right. I've been following a seat from my teacher, Russell Delman, comes from a long, lengthy years of Zen practice, and the particular way that I hold my legs and that I hold my hands in a mudra. And I also have a slightly open-eyed gaze down toward the floor. So it's the meditation posture that I take. The mudra is the gesture with my hands that Shunryu Suzuki's book calls it cosmic mudra, where my left hand rests in my right foot is in front of my left. And so there are many, many, many different ways to sit, but an important part of getting your seat established is that you really can get to that ground element, that you can have a strong sense of your foundation and the support that's available right here. And so I also, in that vein, have a little cushion under my right knee that makes it easier for my body to be supported. There's a slight balance. It addresses the slight imbalance that I have, or maybe it's a large imbalance. And that strong foundation, you can be sitting in a chair, you can choose to be lying down, but having a sense of that strong foundation allows for the lightness and uprightness of what is above. If you're sitting, it's your spine and your torso and head and heart. If you're lying down, it's the front surface of your body. If you're on your back, the three-dimensionality of us. And where there's an inhale, there's an exhale. So a large part of this coming to a meditation practice and having a meditation practice is to allow us to settle toward equanimity, or re-find a sense of equanimity when things are turbulent or when our energies are running amok, whether it's because of something outside of us or something far away, something nearby, or something inside of us. Sometimes it could be a physical condition that might be troubling us and limit our sense of our wholeness, limit our sense of what's available to us toward healing, toward what's the next step. And I'm finding that the meditation practice, which is returning to just stillness, to this seat, and to the breath, very simple. Just being here at this seat, 1 and 2, our breath and aliveness of our senses. And tapping into this it's like recharging our phone. If we only do it once a month, we lose our charge, right? Unless you have a very good battery. But if we do a little bit every day, even just a little bit, even a minute, even a stopping and taking 3 breaths, and really stopping and attending to those 3 breaths, you could consider that a meditation practice. And something in this stopping that brings us to the present, even if the mind may still be going and whatever sensations we're having may still be happening, there's something that plugs us into a bigger perspective, a wholeness, a coming home, a recognition of I am here, an undeniable knowing of our presence. And so, where we can often be aware of the inhale, and when we even have the idea of, oh, I need to take a breath, a lot of times we just think about the inhale. But as Anna Makeva's video on our YouTube channel shares about the breath, that the exhale is just as, if not a little bit more important. And if we didn't have the exhale, we wouldn't have the inhale. And this is some of what comes into balance without us trying to, without us analyzing or figuring it out, but just by coming to this seat, by coming home. So let's get to the business of that together. Start my timer. So perhaps you've already established your seat, or perhaps in listening and the minutes that have passed, your body tells you you need to reposition in order to slide toward another 12 minutes of stillness. So in this establishing of the seat, and by seat I mean the place, the way we place our body, the placement, the shapes, the angles, the particular geometry, sacred geometry of our body right now. Could be a laying down. Reclining Buddha. But our body we can sense when we just lightly open to our senses. More in a receiving mode, just rather than reaching out and grasping for the information, just sort of resting back, senses relaxedly alert for just how you really truly feel the pelvis against the ground, with the ground. As you pay attention to that relationship, the earth body and physical body, you may automatically notice and allow letting go. In this first step of the 3 steps I use, the 3 steps: 1, ground; 2, sound; 3, breath. Not necessarily in that order. But I usually come to ground first, this feeling where I am on the planet right here, now. And I begin to sense the breath. And similarly, as I'm more and more aware of the one who is aware, noticing the breath. And just like when we notice the wind, it's not so much the actual wind we see, but the branches or leaves of the trees moving or the flags or grasses. Similarly, I get to see how parts of my body either allow the breath or resist the breath. And pretty much without any effort, that observing essence of myself seems to invite and allow an automatic letting go to whatever is not essential. And then sound. The trio is ground, sound, breath, and today I've ordered it ground, breath, and now sound. What a lovely doorway sound. Weaving together the inner, the outer, the inner, the outer. Time to time, here close to me, I hear the gurglings and slumbering snorings of my little dog. And beyond that, just very gentle rumblings outside, white noise. So sound in this instruction is sufficient in itself, but it's also a code word for all that I'm sensing. And so my eyes are very barely open, looking down, unfocused at the ground in front of me. And you can certainly have eyes closed. What we get to notice as some of what we sense is our own thoughts and countless other experiences as we just come back to being here, this one, noticing, sitting, breathing. What we get to notice is this capacity for equanimity. No matter what is coming and going. No matter what is coming and going. Bell marking this transition of the end of a short practice. And then bringing our palms together in front of our hearts. And just seeing as we do that, it changes the whole energy of very different than what was these minutes before. And bowing, notice and feel for you what this means is ending this gesture. And for me, it is a sense of humility and a sense of deep gratitude for this practice, for the time, for all of you with me, and for all of you who participate in this practice and work toward a greater and greater equanimity for all the ups and downs that we go through, and certainly celebrating the ups is wonderful, and an opportunity to practice on the easy stuff, as Eric Schiffman says, practice on the easy stuff. So we can grow our sense of equanimity, our skill with that, or our mapping of that, so that it's easier to slide back into that when something jars us or is a heavier challenge, so that we can wisely, compassionately, kindly, joyfully, even joyfully deal with what is difficult when that arises. And we can celebrate for its own sake as well. So we get to enjoy the various flavors. So when there is ease, and perhaps, and I hope you had moments of it in your sitting today, savor them. Really, really important. It's why we have parties, why we have birthday parties, why we have anniversary parties, why we celebrate. And similarly, we come together when there's times of grieving or challenge. And we can certainly find togetherness in that. And even a kind of strength, maybe is the word. So thanks for joining me, you guys, today here in person, and those of you who join later. Ciao, ciao. See you next week. And do stay with us. Come visit us often at Sun and Moon at sunandmoonstudio.com and here on YouTube. Thanks, Mary Beth. Thanks, Honora. Au revoir.